Like, I want to talk to you guys because one of the plans, I had 6 podcasts in Pakistan, none of them are happening obviously, and 2-3 here. One of them was with you guys.
Sure.
The important part...
Not in the top 5, but कोई बात
There was 3 of them. We're not even in the top
नहीं.
5.
6 Pakistan की भी थी, 6 Pakistan
3
की भी थी.
podcasts, but you guys aren't in the top 5.
It's like we're not picky.
Yeah. I mean, you made it.
Made
you
it.
PSL, Abhi, how did that go for you guys? Because I was sort of listening. You know, I do those tweets. I don't watch cricket, but I listen.
But then you listen.
You're
to
one
us.
of those.
Yeah.
I think I saw you on the. So I know that you don't listen in. I think Rizwan does.
Yeah.
Rizwan
he
to
at
I-
least follows cricket a little
Yeah.
bit. And then, but I saw you on our chat
Right.
for the first time on the PSL. I think it probably was shitposting.
We were trying to talk about Jeevan on our chat.
Said wrong check.
जीवन ने कहा था गोली change
But it was
/match day.
it was the episode we.
जीवन तुम बहुत बड़े आदमी
We did a live show saying goodbye to the PSL when it was fucked up over because of COVID. And we did a whole emotional goodbye. Like, it was a 45-minute live thing.
It was an obituary, basically.
Everybody was really sad. I remember you seeing on the chat there in the first time. But I think that show kind of like encompasses the PSL for us this season. I think a lot of us are just happy that we got done with it. Because in I think it was February when it stopped.
Yeah.
It felt like it wasn't gonna finish.
Yeah.
बहुत बुरा सीन हो गया था और उस वक्त से पहले मसला ये है कि the cricketing world wasn't really exposed to COVID yet, so it was like PSL में हो गया, so it's probably like the incompetence of the organization that's made it happen.
Yeah.
Which I guess
It was though.
but I think it's a bit reductive to say it was just that, because after that you see all these series and all these leagues,
Yeah.
IPL being one of them. They've all been affected. They've all been cancelled. So it wasn't just the incompetence. It was just COVID is a very difficult thing to handle. So it was a 2-part season.
Yeah. How
और
was...
वो हॉट टेक्स आ रहे थे कि भाई अब PSL बंद हो गया तो भाई पाकिस्तान में क्रिकेट ही बंद हो जाएगी. तो पहले हम नाराज थे, ऊपर से फिर ये इस किस्म की हॉट टेक्स आ रही हैं, तो और माहौल थोड़ा सा ना टॉक्सिक हो रहा था.
Sad. It's frighteningly sad.
बट क्रेडिट टू PCB, दे गॉट इट डन इवन इन जून जुलाई. हमारा भी थोड़ा डबल शिफ्ट लगी, रात के 3-3 बजे तक हम कमेंट्री कर रहे हैं, लगे हुए हाँ गुड शॉट, वेल शॉट, ये वो. बट
well shot जीवन.
When did you guys become apparent? How long after कि ये हो रहा है?
I think it was honestly, this was a crazy thing. So the week before the PSL was supposed to happen in the UAE, everything was still up in the air. We were like, we're going to do a Sharjah, we're Dubai, and then it all got like funneled down to just Abu Dhabi.
Then after it stopped,
Yeah.
पिछले साल,
Yeah.
when did they announce कि we'll complete?
नहीं stop तो अभी इस साल के
February.
December में खत्म
नवंबर में हो गया था.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
This was this year's edition that got cut short. Then they did it
February में cut short हुआ था ना.
Right.
तो फिर जब ये फिर हमें नहीं पता था कि कब कंटिन्यू होगा, उन्होंने कहा था how we'll try in the summer. Summer में हमारा पहला रिएक्शन था कि यार weather is not permissible
UAE
in
में कैसे?
Pakistan or
उस
UAE.
वक्त यूएई की बात भी नहीं हो रही थी शायद.
नहीं हो रही थी.
कि होगा कब.
अच्छा, but UAE में हुआ था. UAE में like 3-4 प्रॉब्लम्स थी. एक कोविड की प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी. Dubai government wasn't sure about it. Sharjah wasn't sure about it. फिर जब अबू धाबी में हुआ था ये हुआ कि that there was some political tensions between UAE and Pakistan about the visas. I think which is a bit of what you faced as well, which you just mentioned. तो उसके issues हो रहे थे कि यार are the players going to get visas to come in and play?
Nothing to do with this.
Literally the day before the first game, we weren't sure if the game's going to go through. So I think a little bit of credit to the administration for making it happen.
नहीं, literally start date they did it on 9th को होना, 10th को होना. It was literally like 2 days before. हाँ जी 9th को.
लेकिन खबरें आना शुरू हो गई थी तकरीबन 1 महीने पहले से कि होने वाला है. This was confirmed कि UAE में होगा. ये नहीं पता था कि डेट एग्जैक्ट कब होगी, स्टेडियम कौन सा होगा, किस चैनल पे दिखा रहे हैं. All of this was in the air. Literally the day that it was happening, हमें पता चला कि अच्छा जी वही चैनल है जिसपे हम पहले देख रहे थे. कमेंट्री हम उसी तरह करेंगे, सारी चीजें ये हैं. And then just
There were
picked up
press
from
releases,
there.
by the way. There were press releases ready to go. Okay, it's been cancelled.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Press releases from them.
They were like, okay, yaar, just
Drafts में पड़ी हुई थी.
I mean,
Sad scoop.
I think based on the history of what sports has been going through during the pandemic, it's a fair thing to like have that contingency.
Yeah.
A lot has been cancelled and pushed around, postponed. So it's not just the PSL or just Pakistan cricket. The good thing that AZ, what he mentioned is we were very scared the day we did that goodbye episode. We had flashbacks of that attack in Lahore. We're like, okay, we're not gonna we can't regress for another freaking decade because it's been a lot. We've been through a lot to get the game back in the country. And if we go back 10 years, we're going to get screwed up. But thankfully, I think that ship has sailed, right? Because everybody else has been postponed too. It's not just a Pakistan only thing.
And we were the first ones to suffer from it, and we were the first ones to bounce back from it.
True.
So since then, we've had South African series that were affected, the IPL was affected, the England series now. उनकी पूरी मतलब starting squad जो है वो COVID से affected हो गई. And we were, you know, again, I would say gracious enough to stick around and be like, you know what, we'll play. बेहतर होता हम ना खेलते हम थोड़ी सी जिल्लत बच जाती लेकिन
no, but honestly, what would have happened if the shoe was like on the other
that's
foot?
what I'm saying. The worst thing was it was us first, and everyone thought कि भाई ये जो है ये incompetent है, ये इनकी लीग में ये मसला है, celebrities आ रहे हैं, ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है. But in reality, like it can happen to anyone.
And honestly, the coverage from some of the larger media presence in cricket was pretty shoddy, man. It was pretty embarrassing the way it was covered.
We love this guy.
Because it felt like the pandemic was just around the PSL, which was just not true. Because okay, it was the first in cricket, but it certainly wasn't the first in world of sports.
Right.
You know, tennis opens were being cancelled, football matches were being restructured.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot happening anyway. So we were just happy that it happened. Like AZ said, late matches ho rahe the. It was very hot for cricket to happen. So there was a lot of hurdles like this. Even for the players and the people around the team, I know it was a really like there were double headers almost every day. So
और सख्त स्ट्रिक्ट तरीन बबल था.
Exactly. Imagine इस वक्त जो है 4-4:30 बजे के करीब 5 बजे के करीब कोई आपको कहे जाके क्रिकेट खेलने.
It was a lot. And it was, by the way, the cricket was good too. The sporting side of it, I didn't felt like it was compromised.
No, it was decent.
matches there.
Yeah, it was decent, and actually quite close in terms of the competition, surprisingly. So yeah.
The quality of the league is betting better.
What's happening for the next one? We'll see when we see.
Yeah, we'll see when we see, but I think we'll be okay to have it in Pakistan. We're getting better with the bubbles.
Okay.
We're like we have
So
third
we
party.
have to hire an external bubble, just like we did right now.
Exactly. So
What's the external bubble?
bubble makers basically.
That's
They,
the job?
they, yeah, now it is. I think they're just extensive event companies that know how to like organize very strict quarantine facilities. That's what they did with Abu Dhabi. So I think if we can hire them.
We know some people who were with the PSL who were staying in the hotel, not allowed to meet anyone,
there you go.
not go anywhere.
Yeah. So that's a third party company. I think that's the way to go because when a third party stakeholder is in the picture, then you can't be like then you have somebody else being the bad cop.
Yeah.
So it's just easy for the PCB and the PSL. Because let's say you work for the PCB and even if you do want to be strict, you have families and friends that are like kind of pushing you or they want to stay in the hotel and
now you can blame someone else.
Yeah, stakeholder management in Pakistan is also a lot about relationships, so you can't ruin those. But then when you have a third party, you go like, hey, I'd love it if you were here, but bad cop here is not going to let you.
And the other thing is because it was happening in the UAE, you're the bad cop.
Hey, we know what you drive, AZ. The car parked outside, you're bad cop.
But I think UAE की वजह से भी हुआ था because people realize कि भाई UAE की जो government है और जो policies हैं वो पाकिस्तान से ज़्यादा strict हैं. And if you do breach these, then there is more repercussions.
Exactly.
So everyone was more aware.
Yeah.
But
No, Abu Dhabi is still like
pretty strict, yeah.
Like in Pakistan, one of the team owners, he literally breached the bubble and he threatened to boycott the first game. उसने कहा था मेरे player खेलेंगे नहीं. Then obviously PCB had to bow down and let him go through. That was part of the controversy, but eventually breach होते होते पूरा ही बंद हो गया.
Is the Wabi breach हुआ and the players got out of the national team?
Immediately. Like it took an hour for the press release to come out. Wow. So they were very strict about it. And again, I don't blame even, okay, the owner was pretty douchey to say that. But I think even when the pandemic started, not all of us were taking like bubbles and stuff seriously. So I kind of understand like this nonchalantness around these protocols. However, it got really real really quickly, right? And then we also have to factor in that this is a multi-million-dollar business. So the PCB is like health and money, which has kind of been the conundrum for the world.
Yeah.
And they've actually picked health. I have to say, they've made the right choices of late.